What is up, my good people of the internet? Dan Tortora here, and so happy to be hanging out with you where sports truly meets that thing called life. It is always an honor and privilege to be here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast here with us. You are with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. We got an awesome show set up for you. We got 4 signature segments happening on today's broadcast. Inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. And you say, Dan, Ma and Pa's, tell me more about it. Sure, don't mind if I do. 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. They are the snack capital to me. When it comes to getting a snack on, whether it's peanut butter, chocolate, salty, you can get popcorn that tastes like chicken wing. You can get popcorn that tastes like dill pickle. You can get popcorn that you can get your caramel corn. You can get your orange cheddar, your white cheddar, your Sour Patch Kid flavor, your unicorn popcorn. There is so much at Ma and Pa's. Chocolate dip this, chocolate dip that, the Oreos, the pretzels, everything. They're cotton candy. They have new things that they've been coming out with, new creations. They're they are, when you go see a movie and you're like, you see those movies where there's all this candy and everything, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could live in that world for a second. When you go to Ma and Pa's, it feels like you're a big kid. It feels like you're back to being in the candy store as a kid, and I love that nostalgia. It's got that feeling of I'm a kid again, and I'm going in the candy store, and my mom said I can get something I want, and then it also is I'm an adult, and I can buy 3 things that I want. So go to Ma and Pa's today. Let them know the Wake Up Call sent you, or you can just say DT sent me over. Ma and Pa's, 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, the snack capital, in my opinion, and bringing you what's popping today. We're going to start the show off, as we always do on a Friday, with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt momentarily. Then we'll jump into lead around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. That's what the acronym stands for. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And today's topic, very excited about it. I'll be announcing it when we do the segment. Top Dog of the Week is going to start off hour number 2, honoring someone in this beautiful community of Central and Upstate New York, my home. And very excited to do that. Proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Short and long-term care for your furry-loving friends, members of your family. I'm not talking about Uncle Bob. So you can go to get the top dog of the week coming up with Canine Kamp Dog Daycare or Aunt Phyllis. I don't know. Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding proudly brings you the top dog of the week at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll jump into Cereal Combo, the 4th edition of our Cereal Combo. And that is with Miss Caitlin Hodge Mahalis. Caitlin Hodge Mahalis, a.k.a. Hodge. She joins me. She's been joining me every other week to mix up some cereal literally in a bowl and have the cereal combos that we love so very much with some breakfast over our convo. Cereal combo with a convo. How about that? Lots of stuff going on here on the show today. We're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark, her decision, the timing of her decision, as well as women's basketball as a whole, and life in general with Miss Caitlin Hodge Mahalis. All of that, and that's around 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time. All of that coming up this morning on the broadcast. So let's hop right into the first piece of today's show, the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The annoying moment of the week, folks. There's always a bunch of places I can bring it. I'm shooting from the cuff here today. My first annoying moment of the week is that I injured my neck in a freak injury in November. And I still feel it right now. I feel it today, and I don't like it. And it doesn't feel nice. My neck is tight. It's tighter on the left side than the right side. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of how I feel in this moment and what's going on. I want to feel better. My mom was like, gotta go to the chiropractor. I've been getting the massage, right? I've been going, getting a massage, trying to have that kind of work out some of the kinks and whatnot. But it's like lower back, upper back. I've been sleeping better. That's the beauty of this whole thing is I've really been sleeping better. But, one of my annoying moments of the week is quite simply that my back is annoying me right now. And my lower back and my neck. So, and every time, and this is another thing that annoys me, is that whenever somebody goes, hey, what's bothering you? You go, my neck, my back. And then they start singing that song, which is very dirty. We're not going to sing it on the family show. So, but you know what I mean? It's like, you can't say it to anybody that was born in, I don't know, the last 20 years. Or, anyone who has been born in the last 15 to 20 years or earlier, my neck, my back, they know that song. And so, anytime they're like, hey, man, what's going on? You're like, my neck and my back. And they're like, my neck, my back. And you're just like, man, come on now. But, you can't help it. I guess it's a catchy song. So, it's whatever. But it's part of my annoying moment of the week because my neck and my back are tight and I don't like it. So, who would like this nonsense? So that's part of my annoying moment of the week. My other annoying moment of the week is when the weather is nice and you drive like an idiot, I would rather you stay home. When the weather is bad and you persistently are like, nah, I'm going to keep driving like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, there's things in life that should wake you up. I'm this believer that when the weather is worse, maybe like the worst driver out there could be like, maybe I should just be a little bit safer. I could just find my way to be a little bit safer, right? But no, not everybody thinks that way. I have this mentality that when someone's a really mean person and you go to a funeral, that they're like, hey, maybe I should be nice today, or maybe I should realize the sanctity of life, or just how precious life is. But is everybody like that? No. So I guess one of my annoying moments of the week is why are we not learning from things, right? Why are we not learning about just valuing life and not getting caught up in all this garbage? I'm not a drama guy. I don't like the drama. Acting is fine. That type of drama is fine because it's fake drama. But I don't like real drama. I'm not a fan of it. And some people say, well, Dan, who is a fan of real drama? Folks, there are people, and I've met some, and I'm not there with you. I'm not there with you. I'm not rolling with you. I'm not feeling it. It's not my life. I am not a real drama person. I am a person that goes, oh, okay, you want to spend the whole time talking about this, and you want to talk about that, and you want to pick on this person, and you want to do this to that person. That's a hard no thank you from me. I hope you have a wonderful day, but I'm going to pass. So I just, and to me, and you got to check yourself. Right? Sometimes I've been talking about stuff and I'm like, man, that's just a lot, Dan. You got to back it up, right? We're all supposed to learn. And I've learned from my mistakes. And I would like to think I've learned from my mistakes. And you go and you ad lib and you get better. I'm not perfect, but I definitely think that you have to learn from your mistakes, your blunders, the things that you do that you don't want to do again. But I just something about life, right? Where it's like the weather's bad, maybe a bad driver will drive better, right? Like maybe it'll knock some sense into them if they slide a little bit and they're like, oh, I value my life and the people around me. Let me just not drive like that. They're like, no, let's Tokyo drift this thing all the way home. And then, when you I just went to a funeral recently for a family member, and and it's like, you're in the room, you're honoring someone who passed away, who had a beautiful life, and you still have these people that are just rude and mean and want people to feel. Why would you want someone to feel uncomfortable at a funeral? You know what I mean? It's like I want you to feel like you don't belong at this funeral. And it's like, it's a funeral. You're honoring the life of someone who passed away. Why would you have a problem with somebody being in the room honoring the life of somebody who passed away. So just, I feel like when people pass away, it's supposed to wake you up. It's supposed to show you how fragile life is. Right? Another annoying moment of the week, I don't like sayers. I like doers. I don't like sayers. I like doers. I know you might have to say it in the beginning, right? This is what I'm going to do, but I like doers. I surround myself with people that do. Not people that say, but people that do. Because to me, a lot of people say, who's ever come up to you and been like, I've accomplished nothing in my life, I'm a terrible procrastinator, I don't care about anything, and I'm going to tell you a lot of good things in order to get something out of you, and once that's done, I'm going to move on to the next person. Cheers. Who does that? Nobody. Nobody, right? Most people are like, I'm great, I'm awesome, you wouldn't believe how wonderful I am, I have a golden blank. If you want to know what I mean by that, watch the new episode of Two Mics, No Filter. Another show inside of the Dan Tortora broadcast media family, available on youtube.com/at Two Mics No Filter, or you can also go to our Facebook page at Two Mics No Filter. If you don't know how to spell mics, it's M-I-C-S. Every time I go M-I-C, my head goes K-E-Y. But, oh boy, letting you in on all the things today. But I don't like someone who just says stuff. Like, you got to do it, right? Because and I hold myself accountable to this too. When you say you're going to do something, you have to do it, right? And I'm not saying when you're like in the moment and you're angry and you're like, I'm going to put my hand through the wall. And you're like, Dan told me I should. He said, if I said it, I have to do it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to do bad things, and I'm not saying to be mean and just ridiculous. I'm saying when somebody says like, hey, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to show up, right? If somebody says, hey, I'm going to show up, I'm going to be there, you shouldn't have to be at the door looking at you, like, looking at your watch, looking at the door, looking at your watch, looking at the door, looking at your watch. No. If they say they're going to be there, then they should be there. What I love is the people that show up that don't even call you, right, to say like, I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to be there. Like they're just there, right? That means a lot to me when somebody shows up. Showing up means a lot. So another annoying moment of the week. I don't mind the snow. I know some people are like, Dan, the snow. It was 61 degrees. It was 56 and then it was 61. I was out walking my dog. And then the next day, I was shoveling, Dan. Do you realize what this is in Central New York? Yes, I do. This is Central New York weather. It's schizophrenic. You have to know that the weather in Central New York has multiple personalities. And sometimes you get 3 seasons in a day. I can't describe it to you other than that. That's what happens. If you are in Central New York going, how is it 60 and then it snows? You haven't lived here long enough. Maybe you're visiting. But I would say that to you because do I dislike the snow? No, I don't dislike the snow. God created it. I have no issue with the snow. Now, what I'm not a fan of is I'm not a fan of the sliding. That is what I am not a fan of. And I feel like the snow and the ice has gotten more powerful. They're like, I see your all-wheel drive cars and I raise you that we're going to learn how to deal with you guys. Oh, you don't want to slide? We're going to slide a little bit. And I had a slide yesterday, and I wasn't driving fast. And it was a slide I haven't had in a while where my car was like, I want to go this way, Dan. And I was like, we're going this way. And he's like, but I really want, no. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that dog that kind of backs away from you. That's what it felt like a little bit, And so I'm not a fan of that part. I'm really not a fan of that part of the snow. I'm not a fan of the fact that I had a couple things I wanted to do yesterday, and because of the snow, it wasn't safe as it would have been for me to do those things. So, in that world, yeah, okay, I get it. In the world of I want to go outside and it's 63 degrees and it's awesome and it's wonderful and I'm going to take a little jog. Like, that's cool too. But it's also really cool to have a snow day. By the way, can we have, since the government shuts down all the time, can we have a snow day? Can we have I'm a business owner? Can we have business owner snow day? Can we do that? Just business owner snow day. Everybody shut down all the businesses, Go relax. Not the hospitals. But that's the thing. That's the thing that I don't like, because it's like you can't shut down everything, right? When you tell people it's Christmas, everything's closed, but it's not. Not everything is closed. Some restaurants stay open because some people need food because they're not making the food at home. Maybe they're by themselves, which I hope nobody is. But maybe they are. And that makes me sad. And I hope that doesn't happen this year or any year. God bless. But some restaurants stay open, right? And then the movie theater stays open because they're like, got to have something to do, right? You're going to be trapped in your house with your family. Some people, when they're with their family, it's yay. Some people, when they're with their family, they want solitary confinement. And we joke about it, but, family, and this is why I don't think family is just blood. Family are the people that choose you. They're the people that love you. They're the people that care about you. I have family that's blood that could care less about certain things. And I have people that have no connection to me blood-wise, biologically. We're not from the same place. Yet I consider them more family than some of the people that I have blood that's the same. I grew up and I was told your family is your family and your family is above everything, family above everything, blood, 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 blood. And then I got older and I'm like, but they're not all nice. They're not all kind. They don't all care. They're not respectful. They're not peaceful. They're toxic. They're hateful. Why would I want to be around these people? If these people were strangers, I would pray for them, but I wouldn't have dinner with these people. And I wanted to stop feeling bad about saying, I don't want to be around these people. Why should I feel bad about that? These people don't like me, right? They don't like me. They're not nice to me. Why would I be around them? It's like seeing your bully in high school and being like, do you want to hang out every day, all day long? And I do believe in killing them with kindness. I absolutely believe that. But I also am like, why, when I could be around people that love me, why don't I do that? I don't like the negativity. I don't like the toxic. I will try for a very long time, but there comes a point where you're like, okay, maybe these people just don't like me and they don't want to be in my life. And that's okay. That's okay. Because it's not fun to be around them anyways. So, you know what I mean? But life is so precious that you should be spending it around the people that really love you, right? And your animals. I love Lily. I love my daughter. And I love how sweet she is and how kind she is. And I love being at home with her doing nothing. I love that. People are like, you go, 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 go. How do you sleep? How do you this? How do you that? How do you that? And what they don't see is I love to do nothing in those moments, because Lily should have that. I've been working a lot these past few weeks. I feel like a bad dad. And so I value when I get to say to her, you want to watch a movie? And she wags her tail and she gets up on the bed and she curls up right next to my leg and we lay there and watch a movie together. Just hanging out. You don't have to get even. I don't have to attack them on the show. That's not what the show is for. Sometimes people are not great for you. They're not. And that's okay. And it's okay for you to be like, I don't want to be around it. Be it blood or be it somebody you've been friends with for a million years, it doesn't matter. Because your peace, what you will realize as you get older, is that your peace of mind, peace in your heart, peace in your body, getting rid of stress because stress is not good. All of these things are mattering. They matter a lot. And I think the people that are truly happy are the people that realize I can pray for you, but I don't have to sit next to you and put myself in this. And, I think we have to learn that. I think it's something it's a learned behavior. You have to learn that it's okay to not have to be around everybody, right? To hang up the phone. When someone's just negative, 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 and you're just like, hey, I have to get a car wash. And you get off the phone, but the car wash is that it's raining outside. That's my car wash. So, God makes the rain. I put the soap on the car, and I'm like, let's do this together. So, saving money. And, but that's actually a really good idea. I haven't done that before. When you know it's going to rain, to get your car all sudsy, and then just let God work with you. Let Mother Nature take care of the rest. That's a good thing. What a positive thing. That's something I thought about today. I might have to do it. I had another annoying moment of the week, and I was thinking about it, and now it's, I don't know. It's, I would say that I'm trying to think about the things that have been on my mind this week, because this is the thing too, when I'm doing the annoying moment of the week, obviously it's, I want it to be funny and informative, and maybe you can relate, right? We can all relate to bad drivers. We live in central New York, but they're bad. They are. What happened to us? What happened to us? We're not New York City bad, but we're like our own unique form of ugh. We're our own unique form of when people come into town and they're like, why do you guys drive like this? And I'm like, I know, right? You know what I mean? It's like I'm not even defending it anymore. I'm like, no, some of these people that drive, I don't know how they got a license. I really don't. I think you should check them all. They probably say McLovin. But, I mean, we all have stories of bad drivers if you live in central and upstate New York. You have that story. I just had a guy, it wasn't during the bad weather yesterday, thank God, but the day before, I'm driving home from an event I did at the Wildcat, which was awesome. Shout out to West Genesee Athletic Club, a.k.a. WGAC. Congratulations to the football champions and everything that Cheer's done regionally. Cheer and football, awesome times, awesome kids, awesome commissioners, awesome president. God bless you all. Big time thanks to Patsy as well as Matt and Greg and everyone involved behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. We appreciate you, to all the awesome kids, to the West Genesee community, and of course the Wildcat Sports Pub led by our fearless leader, Mr. Danny Tome. I appreciate you very, very much so. I was driving home and I'm in the left lane and I'm going like 70 in a 65, right? And this guy comes up behind me. And he's just like and thank God I haven't seen this in a while. I'm happy this isn't a norm. But he's just like on it. Just, and it was like right when I was coming out of the event. And I'm like, why, dude? Why? There's 3 lanes, bro. Who are you? What are you doing? This is my lane. Get out of my lane. This is my lane. This is my lane. All that tells me when you drive like that is something in your life is out of whack. Something in your life you do not have control of that is driving you nuts, right? My wife never lets me watch what I want to watch on TV. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I get out of my way. My wife won't let me watch what I want to watch. I want to watch the game. She's watching Real Housewives. Let me just have this lane. Daniel. How does he know my name? He doesn't know your name. You realize that when we get road rage, we think that these people are personally attacking us. They're not personally attacking you. They suck at driving. And everybody is like, what are they doing? They're not personally attacking you. They're attacking society with their horrible driving. And if their wife would just let them watch the game tonight, maybe they would drive normally. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't, right? Maybe there's a girl behind the wheel going, I can't believe that Sheila said this about me. We've been friends for 15 years. I can't even get out of my way. But that's, you know what I mean? That's what I picture. People that drive like maniacs, something in their life is chaotic, so they drive chaotic. There's nobody like, my life is great, God is good, everything's fine, and I'm going to drive up your butt. Nobody does that, right? It's the mean people. It's the people that, because they drive in such a way where it's like, if we both die, it was worth it. Because I got to go somewhere. Where do you have to go? And why are you rushing to get back home so your wife can take the channel changer from you? Stay out a little bit longer, right? But, I mean, and that's not the worst problem to have in your life. If the worst thing you have in your relationship is that your wife has the remote in her hand, poor you. My dad had the remote growing up as a kid. Did I like it all the time? No. Did I watch some stuff I wouldn't have watched and got educated on some things? Yeah. Did I find some things I liked that I didn't know I liked? Yeah. And when my dad fell asleep, I took the changer. The problem with women is I don't think they fall asleep before us. That's not true. I think the ones that have the channel changers don't fall asleep before us. But, serious. Is that not the truth? Right? I mean, I guess it is. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever... Is that... I feel like when I've dated women that had the channel changer, I feel like they stayed awake more often than they didn't. But you have to, And that's another thing. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this as an annoying moment of the week. For those of you out there that are dating, for those of you out there that have a spouse or a mate or whatever the heck you want to call it, the person that's decided that this stranger is going to live their life with me because I love them and they're great and they're awesome. And they don't drive like maniacs. When you find your person, you can write in too. Feel free to write in, folks. I want to hear if you have something to say here. Is that, and good morning to Mom. Good morning here. Greg's got an annoying moment of the week. We're going to hit it in a minute here, Greg. So, here's the thing. And I want you to write in if you have this. Please tell us. What is your relationship like? They're not reading it. Okay? Maybe some of you have people that you're dating that are like hawks, and they're like, I saw that on Dan Tortora's show today, you said this. I can't believe. And if you have an FBI agent that you're dating, number one, I hope you don't ever do anything actually wrong. And number two, I don't know about that one. I'm going to play dad for a minute here. I don't know if that's your partner. If they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So, but I want to know from you, who has the remote in your house? Greg, tell me. So, who has the remote in your house? Who owns the remote in your house? Because it is a dance, right? It is a dance. And if you date a woman in this, and I'm speaking purely from my experience. I'm not saying every woman likes these shows because I know that not every woman does. And I'm not saying every man likes the shows that I'm about to mention because people like what they like. And I never believe in grouping people. I think our country is massively insane right now because all we do is group people, and we're like literally now we're not only grouping people, we're making factions of the factions, which in fact is dividing society. Isn't that interesting? When you group people, you divide people up, and then you look at a divided society. Oh, do you think that maybe that's something that has a correlation or a connection? Probably. When you group people, you divide. When you divide, society becomes disbanded. When it becomes disbanded, it's easily controlled. Oh my goodness, we figured something out today on a Friday. So don't group people. It's not nice. It's never nice. It's never nice. Trust me, it's not. So I want to know who controls the remote in your house. My mom is listening right now, and my mom is like, me. My mom is like, I live by myself. I watch what I want. Good for you, mama. She does. Mom walks into that room and she's like, I'm going to watch The Bachelor right now. See, here's the thing. When my parents were together, my dad would watch TV downstairs. My mom would watch TV upstairs. And I made a promise to myself that I would never be in a marriage that did that because it disbands the family. My mom wanted to watch this. My dad wanted to watch this. There was no compromise. And I had to choose which parent I sat with. And that was not ideal. So who controls the remote in your house? And do you guys work together? Right? Do you work together? Do I like the shows that rhyme with schmeal, schmousewives? No. Nope. Not a little bit. I don't like them at all. It's like going to Panera and watching women scream at each other. That's what I feel like I'm doing. I feel like I'm way too involved, and it's too much. It's a lot. And so I do not watch Schmeal Schmousewives. And there's no offense to those people, and there's no offense to the company that puts them on. I don't watch that stuff. I don't like it. I don't watch Schmeeping Up with the Smardashians. I don't. Because I think it's ridiculous. Why would I want to watch people talk about eating food and going on vacation, and then they eat the food and go on the vacation? I guess they say what they're going to do. That's a good thing. That's important to me. But, I'm also not the guy that's like, babe, we're watching the game. When? Every day. I'm going to find something every single day. We're going to watch water polo. Wake up in the morning on a Saturday, bowling's on. I mean, will I watch stuff? Yeah. And do I love all sports? And I'm not making fun of water polo or bowling. I'm just saying, like, they don't usually put that on TV. And if there's like something, if they have the opportunity and there's not other games going on, what I'm saying is I don't have games on all the time. Because I love bowling. Water polo, I don't know how to play it. I'm willing to learn. Maybe if she's watching Schmousewives, I will play water polo. But that's a question, right? Who controls the remote? What did Greg say? No TV in the bedroom. That's a big one. Yeah. No TV in the bedroom. I got a TV in my bedroom. But it's also me and Lily, right? Lily and I. It's amazing when you go to school and you're taught by really good educators, when you say something incorrect, your brain corrects yourself because you hear them. Me and Lily, and my head goes, Lily and I. So because I was taught. Hopefully you have good teachers teaching you things. I pray that you do. Teachers are one of those things where you can't afford to have a bad one, right? Can't afford to have a bad cop. Can't afford to have a bad teacher. Can't afford to have a pilot that goes, hey, sometimes I like to go right at the mountain, miss it at the last second because I like the challenge. Sometimes you have to put doors on airplanes. And ridiculous. It's insane. It's insane. But who controls the remote in your house? Because to me, I was married to a woman that if I watched what I wanted to watch, she would go to sleep. And if she watched what she wanted to watch, she would stay up for hours. And I thought it was so ridiculous because I was willing to watch her shows. I was willing to go through this. And it was all dramatic. And by the way, when a man or a woman tells you, I don't like drama, I just love watching it, they like drama. You have to like it to watch it, right? So you do. What did Greg say? Sadly, my wife and I don't agree on many television shows or movies. 90% of the time, I'm watching sports, and when my wife actually has time to watch a show, she will watch on her phone, which is rare based on her schedule. So, okay. But I appreciate the honesty when you said, hey, we don't agree on the shows. I'm watching sports, and she's got a busy schedule. Based on her schedule, she might be watching something on her phone. But I think it's important to be together. Now, you got to have your time, right? You got to have your time alone. I get that. But being a kid who grew up watching my parents almost every single night, one's upstairs, one's downstairs, I don't want that for my life. I don't want to marry that, And I don't think that my parents, either one of them was a bad person at all. I don't think they're bad people now at all. I don't think that's good. And you say, Dan, it's just TV. And it's like, it's not. Because when my mom worked all day and my dad worked all day, we saw each other for dinner, TV, bed. Two of those things you do together. You should, right? Dinner, TV. So, that's well, and my parents, obviously sleeping in the same room, I was sleeping by myself. But as a family, dinner and TV. Sometimes it's the only time you have with each other to interact. And it's really important to me to do that. Now, I'm the person that is willing to watch the thing that I don't necessarily want to watch. But after a while, I'm like, okay, let's be equal on this, right? I remember one time, I'm a broadcaster, as you know, hence the show this morning. And I've been doing this for over 20 years. So there was one night Ohio State was playing. It was a football game. It was a big football game. I can't remember exactly who they were playing, but it was a big time game. It might have been Penn State, and I was like, I got to watch the game. Like, I want to watch the game. And there was like 10 minutes left in the game. I wanted to watch the entire game. I didn't watch the entire game because at the time, the person that I was with didn't want to watch any whatever. And so I was like, all right, I want to watch the last 10 minutes, which we know the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter is not 10 minutes. It could be like 40 minutes, but I wanted to watch the end of the game. And she was like, why do we have to watch this? And I was like, well, it's my job. That's number one, which I can say. Not every man can say or woman can say. And I feel very thankful and grateful for that. I don't take it for granted that it's my job. But I also don't want to just watch it because it's my job. I want to watch it because I enjoy it. And she went to bed. But if I had turned her show on in that moment, it was like, I'm waking up. And that was my thing. I was like, do you want to watch Schmousewives? Will that make you stay awake at 8 p.m.? So you have to compromise. You have to compromise. right? Do not, if you know someone is a massive Syracuse fan, and okay, this Saturday there's a game on, and you know someone's a massive Syracuse fan, do not walk in there and be like, and wait all day long, do nothing, sleep in, and you know the game's at 7 o'clock, and you're like, babe, 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 don't you think it's a good time to go outside and work on the shed? And it's like, no, okay, and I know what you're doing. Don't do that to people. Don't do that to people, right? And if your mate is watching The Bachelor, right? Don't walk in there when The Bachelor starts and like have an argument. I don't like your mother, and we should talk about it. No. Stop. Okay? Stop trying to ruin other people's fun. And I think if you are married to or dating someone who has the remote and is not nice about it, you should go and buy a universal remote. And whenever they turn something on, you should have it by your side in your pocket, shoot it through your pocket, and change the channel and be like, something's wrong with the TV, babe. I don't know what it is. But I just do. I mean, you got to compromise. And what I'm saying, I'm mentioning TV, but I mean everything, right? It's annoying to be in a relationship where someone says, I want this, but I'm not going to give it to you. I want respect. I'm not going to give it to you. I want to watch my show. I don't want to watch your show. I want you to cook. I don't want to cook. I want, but I'm not gonna. Nobody needs that. Don't date those people. Don't marry those people. My goodness. Let those people figure out who the heck they are, and that the world is not about them, right? The world's about all of us. We work together. That's how we grow. The reason why our country doesn't feel great right now, or like it used to feel to some people, is because we're not working together, right? And it starts in your home. If you can't work with the people in your home, how are you going to work with strangers? You have to be able to work with what you got and then build from there. So, if it's between Schmiel Schmauswives and a basketball game this weekend, work together. Work together. And do not ask the person watching the game to shut the game off when there's 3 minutes left because you have to watch Schmiel Schmauswives. Because if you know and I know, they replay that thing like 9 times a night. What's his other thing here? My annoying moment of the week is in the sports card business. Why do athletes sign initials or a scribble for card autographs, especially for lower numbered runs? There are a few exceptions of quality, legible autographs. Yeah, I got some. But they are few and far between. Some athletes are resorting to making just a line on a card. I agree with you, right? I definitely agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I like Caitlin Clark's autograph. I can also read it. You can tell that it says Caitlin Clark. But I agree with you. Because I got somebody's autograph and it was just initials. And I was like, what the heck, man? Put some effort in here. You're getting paid for this. It's not like, oh, this is just for fun. Like, you know what I mean? So, poor you has to sign a bunch of things because people want your autograph. You know what I mean? There's going to come a day where maybe they don't. And then you're going to be like, you want me to sign something for you? Right? So, I agree with you, Greg. I definitely agree. Apparently, you had a card that came out that way. I'd love to know who it was. But yes, if you scribble and it looks like anybody can do this, oh... You know, it looks like you were starting to write something and then you fell asleep. Don't do that. And don't just write your initials. Although, is it in here? Oh, it's in here. Is it in here? No, that's Caitlin Clark. My James Cook one, his JC, he wrote his initials, but he wrote it in such a way where it looks like the pi sign in math. That was pretty cool. So, not mad at that one. But yeah, I said that about Andre Sisco. He writes AC. I'm like, dude, come on. Write something out. You know what I mean? And I mean, I've covered Cisco in college and pro. And when I got that, you're like, because it's really hard to get autographs. It's really hard to pull autographs. I went years and years and years and years before I ever pulled one out of a pack. I went to like majority of my life, like half of my life at least before I did. So I agree with you, Greg. That can be annoying. So, you know what's really annoying? When you open up a pack of cards and there's a scribble for an autograph and the person that you're dating doesn't let you watch your favorite shows. So, my suggestion to all of us that are single is that when you venture into a relationship, ask them what they watch on television and how connected they are to those shows. No, I'm kidding. But share. The bigger message in the annoying moment of the week is to share and be kind to each other and compromise. Relationships don't work if you don't compromise. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. This has been the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Don't let the cold weather fool you, or the snow. We have the same awesome flavors all year round at Carvel, including the DT Dolphin, exclusive to Carvel DeWitt. No other Carvel in the world has the DT Dolphin. I am honored to have it in our community at the longest-standing Carvel franchise in America. You could get the DT Dolphin. Mint chocolate chip, hot fudge, whipped cream, cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of the whipped cream any single day of the week. And it's buy one, get one on Wednesdays. Go and get yourself one today and honor those Lemoyne Dolphins in our community. And the campus is right down the road. So all my students, student athletes, faculty, staff, coaches, you can go just a few minutes down the road and see a Sunday dedicated in connection to you. So go enjoy that today. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back right after this with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports truly meets that thing called life. And we appreciate you being with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I don't know how we ended up with the top dog of the week over here. So the top dog of the week, it just wanted to come out so very soon here. It will be out in just a couple minutes. But before we go there, we must go here. And that is bringing you Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, the acronym proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic, responsibility is yours. It's yours. You have to be responsible. Uh-oh. Responsibility is yours, ladies and gents. The responsibility of your decisions, of how you live your life, of the things you choose to do and the things that you choose not to do, the things that you say and the things that you choose not to say. You have a responsibility. Now, does this segment have anything to do with the fact that I've been watching multiple Spider-Man videos in anticipation of something that I'm working on? Yes, no, maybe. Because what is the line in Spider-Man? Say it with me, folks. With great power comes great what? Responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. We must be responsible. If we are not responsible for our actions and our words, then who is? Who do we blame? Our teachers, our parents, our upbringing? Oh, it's just the way I am. Our blood? Do we say it's in our blood? Responsibility is yours. You have to understand. And it's not just the things you say and do. What did I say? It's the things you say and do, and it's the things that you don't say. And it's things that you don't do, right? Haven't you watched a movie before where they said it's everything you do and it's everything you don't do, right? Are you responsible? Are you somebody that someone can depend on? Are you someone that takes the initiative? Are you somebody that when you're wrong, you admit it? Do people have to wait for you to get ready, or do you just get ready? Are you ready? Are you someone that says, I was late because of this, and because of this, and because of this, and because of this, or do you just walk in the room and say, you know what, I was late, I'm sorry. I was late and I apologize. What type of person are you making yourself out to be? Because we are creatures of habit. And the habits we create, the habits we decide, that's who we become. So when you become somebody who says it's okay to do this, and it's okay to do this, and it's okay to do this, and it's okay to do that, you have to watch what you're saying in your life is okay. Because whether you want to believe it or not, somebody's counting on you. If you're in law enforcement, someone's counting on your protection today. If you're a pilot, someone's counting on your ability to get them somewhere safe and sound. If you're a food distributor, somebody's counting on you that there's nothing on that food that's going to make them sick. If you're a grocery store, somebody's counting that you have what they need. If you're a pharmacy, they're counting on you having their medicine. If you are a mother or a father, your children are counting on you not texting while you drive and paying attention and getting them to school on time. If you're a student, you're counting on people in a school zone to actually go the school speed limit. If you're a dog or a cat owner and the dog or the cat gets out, you're counting on people to see the animal and slow down. Maybe stop and look at the collar and call you. We all count on people every day. And you might say, Dan, I don't count on anybody. That's a lie. Do you drive? You count on the people that make the roads. You count on the people that fill the potholes. You count on the people that plow. You count on the people that salt. You count on the people that make sure the lights are working. You count on the electrical company to make sure that the lights are on. You count on when you are driving to your job that your job will still exist. We all count on people, whether or not we admit that we do. We all count on somebody. And in that case, when we say that we all count on somebody, that makes this reality all the more important. That responsibility is yours. You don't have to go to work on time. You don't have to. It's not, well, let me not say it like that. You can choose to not go to work on time. You can choose to not be a good parent. You can choose to not be kind. You can choose a lot of things. But what our society has forgotten is that your choices have consequences. If you choose to be late, you could get fired. If you choose to lie, you could be caught in the lie. If you choose to not get your kids to bed, they may not be awake enough in the morning to go to school. You can choose to not be responsible, but there are repercussions to not being responsible. And today's society believes that they don't have to be responsible because somebody else will pick up the slack. And if everybody did that, if everyone believed that you don't have to be responsible because somebody else will pick up the slack, nobody would pick up the slack, nobody would be responsible, and society would crumble as we know it. You have to be responsible. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. You have to be responsible. If your parents give you an allowance and they give it to you once a week and they can only afford to give you $10 and you spend it 5 minutes after they give it to you, that was your responsibility. It is not their responsibility to give you another $10. When we show up late to something, we hope that somebody understands, but it's not their responsibility that they have to. We have to start living our lives, me included, where we understand the importance of our responsibility. We have to. Because if you do not understand your responsibilities, Lord only knows what you will become. And how that will affect other people. Because if you're the parent and you're not responsible, now your children are not going to be responsible if they follow your lead. If you're a teacher and you're not responsible, your students will now not be responsible if they follow your lead. If you're the CEO of a company and you don't get there on time, you're not organized, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't do your research, the rest of your team may follow suit. And they might also be irresponsible. We need to stop thinking that if we decide to take a day off, and I don't mean take a break or a vacation. If you take a day off from being a responsible person, you have to be responsible at all times. Okay? You have to be a responsible person at all times. I can't be responsible sometimes and be a dog owner. Because if I'm responsible sometimes and I'm irresponsible other times, what does that irresponsibility look like? Does that mean I don't feed Lily? Does it mean I don't let her outside? Does that mean I leave her in the kennel all day? Does that mean I don't put water in her dish? You cannot afford to be irresponsible. And some people say, well, Dan, I'm just trying to have fun. There's a difference. You can have fun and be responsible, right? Well, I told my mom I'd be home at 4. I'm going to be home at 4:15 because I asked this girl out and I was walking her home. So text your mom. Say, Ma, you know that girl that I really like? Well, I asked if I could walk her home. She said yes. Instead of your mom for 15 minutes pacing, terrified that something happened to you. Send her a message. Responsibility is not for some. It's not for the rich. It's not for the poor. It's not for one person over another. Responsibility is for everybody. And when we don't do it, when one person doesn't do it, it can easily erode life for a lot of people. So, when you're going about your life today, I want you to think about where you've been irresponsible. I am right now. I want you to think about where you've been irresponsible, and I want you to think about where you've been responsible. And I want you to know something. I'm not asking for you to make your life hard. I'm not asking for you to make your life stressful and strenuous. When you're a parent, you're going to be a parent forever. When you are a brother, you're a brother forever. When you're a sister forever. When you're a friend, I would like to think if you're really an actual friend, you're a friend forever. And when you marry somebody and you dedicate yourself to someone, I would like to hope that you both are in it forever. Because when one person is and the other person isn't, it doesn't work. And the responsibility, how does this all connect back to God? We know that Lead is a faith-based segment. We know that I'm all open about my faith on my show and on and off the air. I don't push it on anybody, but I talk about it freely because no one's going to shut me up. If I accept you and appreciate you for who you are, why not give that back to me, right? I believe in equality. I've always been someone who believes in equality. I can't understand if we're not going to be equal, because how is society ever going to grow if equality is not for everybody? That doesn't even mean anything. Equality means that everything is the same. So if everything is supposed to be treated the same, but some things are treated differently, it's not equality. See, common sense can refute most of the garbage in our society today. Common sense can do that. And we need to start using it. We need to start using common sense. And as somebody said to me years ago, Dan, common sense is different. Not everybody has the same common sense anymore. And I said, well, then in that case, it would be called uncommon sense. But I believe that people have common sense. When they say they don't have common sense, I believe that's a cop-out. Have some of us been raised differently? Yes. Is love taught? Yes. Is hate taught? Yes. But common sense is common sense. That's why they call it common sense. So how does this all connect back to God? Well, we ask God to be responsible. When we screw up, we ask God to fix it. God, I'm going to be 20 minutes late. It takes me 22 minutes to get here. I have 2 minutes to get there. Can you make every light green? And can I go 100 miles an hour and not hit anybody or anything so that I can get there in 2 minutes? Please and thank you. I'm being irresponsible. Can you now be responsible for me? Hey, God, I hope that the karate class for my kid ran late because I was out drinking and I don't want to go pick him up, and I totally forgot. So if it's late, I can sober up and it'll be all good. Please and thank you. By the way, if you're a parent getting drunk and you have to take care of your kids, please don't drive. And I'd rather somebody else pick your kid up. But we have to stop saying to God, I'm irresponsible, God. Can you fix it for me? You can say to God, can you teach me how to be responsible? But to go to God and say, God, I am irresponsible. Be responsible for me. Fix all my blunders. Fix all my mistakes. Please and thank you. Be the magic pill in my life, God. I don't want to try to lose weight. I just want to take a pill. I'm not going to change any of my eating habits. I'm just going to get liposuction. And then I'm going to eat the same way again. I'm going to come back here in a few years. Because as long as they got the technology, I can eat what I want. And I can also take all this fat off my body. Responsibility, folks. Responsibility. It's hard. But when you are irresponsible, when you don't do things on time, when you don't do the things you say you're going to do, when you don't show up for people, there are repercussions for that. And eventually, even if someone's like, it's okay the first time, the second time, the 8th time, the 27th, and the 252nd time, eventually on that 253rd trip, they go, you know what? I'm not going to save you a seat at the show because I know you're not coming. And you go, oh, no, that's the day I was going to come. Of course it was. You ever met somebody like that? Somebody who you always call them, you always reach out to them, you always do everything you can for them. And then when it comes to them giving back to you, they never do it. And the moment that you say, you know what, I'm done, I'm not dealing with this anymore because you never do this, they're like, oh, well, I was going to do it today, but you didn't give me the chance to. Oh, you were going to do it today. You haven't done it for 7 months, but you're going to do it. You were going to do it today. And I just so happened to randomly, coincidentally say that I don't want you to do it today, and then you were going to do it today. So it's a total coincidence that on the day that I got fed up with hearing nothing from you 200 times, that this just happened to be the 201st time that was going to be the magic bullet that was going to fix everything. Please don't fall for that. Please don't fall for that and waste your time and the time of the people that you love and care about and things that you love and care about. Do not waste your time around people that tell you, I'm gonna. And the day that you say, you know what, don't even worry about it. They go, well, joke's on you because now you can't have this big surprise I have in my car for you. There's no surprise in the car. And if there is a surprise in the car, so what? We have to be responsible. We have to be. And when you're not, I don't know if you're like me, but I feel terrible. Every time I'm late, I feel bad. I feel horrible. I feel like I let somebody down. I wasted their time. But you know what makes all of it better? Don't be late. Don't be late. Even if they accept your apology 1,000 times, stop being late. Stop doing things that you know are not good. Build good habits in your life. When the doctor says, I don't want you eating this anymore, and then you eat it and you go back and the doctor and you laugh and he's like, all right, just don't do it next time. And you're like, all right, doc. And then the next year. And at a certain point, the doctor's going to look at you and go, you know what? I mean, I've told you not to eat this. I've told you what it can do to you. Every time you come in here, you're in pain. And at this point, I don't think you care. I don't think you care. And you know what that person would say? I can't believe my doctor talked to me like this. Talk to you like what? Your doctor, you go to your doctor to tell you what you need to do to be healthy. Your doctor told you what to do, and you said no thank you. And 5 years later, you're asking this doctor what you need to do, and this doctor's exhausted of telling you the same thing. Responsibility is not for one person over the other person. It doesn't discriminate. If you're not responsible, there are prices. If you are responsible, there are rewards. You may not see them every day, But I have a responsibility. Somebody said to me a long time ago, they said, you're a business owner, you own your own company. Why do you get up and do your job? You could just lay in bed and eat food all day and watch TV. Why do you even get up? There's nobody making you get up. And I said, because if I don't act responsibly, then I don't have a company. Then I don't work for myself. Then I don't have anything to look forward to in the morning. Yes, I could slack and sit and eat Cheerios and watch whatever, Jerry Springer, Maury Povich. I flipped the words around. Maybe it's a new one. Maybe it's him with a mustache, Porimovich. You don't know me. I never had a show before. I'm different. I'm new. So I almost did a Trump impression there, but totally different, totally new. But think about it, right? If I decided to not try, that person's thing to me was, who's going to stop you? Who's going to yell at you? You can't get fired. Yes, I can. If I'm not responsible and I don't do the things I say that I'm going to do, yes, you can get fired. People stop listening. People stop watching. People stop communicating. When you give people your word, you're supposed to keep it. When you do not keep your word, as my good friend Floyd Little said, God bless him in heaven, and God bless his wife Deborah and all of his loved ones in heaven and on earth. And may they all be connected through the beautiful goodness of God, because dying you destroyed our death, and rising you restored our life, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Floyd told me a long time ago, your word is the most valuable thing you own. If you don't keep your word, you have nothing. When people don't keep their word to me off the rip, I pay attention. When I've known you for a few weeks and you haven't kept your word to me, I pay attention. When I've known you for 17 years and you don't keep your word to me, I pay attention. When I don't keep my word, I think about it all the time until I fix that. So, responsibility, folks. Remember this today. It is not your parents' job to be responsible for you. It is not your friend's job, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your significant other, your dog, your cat, your bird, your neighbor, your coworker, your employees. It is not their responsibility to be responsible for the decisions you make. As a child, your parents have to be responsible and taking care of you because you don't know how to take care of yourself yet. But you know what I mean. You have to be responsible. And stop acting like it's a chore. It's not a chore. It's part of life. If you're a human being, you have to be responsible. If you're a dog, a bird, an elephant, you have to be responsible. You have to be. Lily knows not to go to the bathroom in the house, and if she does, she feels immediately bad about it. She acts different. So how can my dog be responsible, and you're 27 years old listening to the show right now, 42 years old, 38 years old listening to the show right now, 68 years old, 71 years old, and you're like, psh, I don't have to be responsible. Really? If Lily's got to be responsible, and she knows, what are you doing? Tough love, but it's real love. Because a lack of responsibility in today's society is why we are where we're at. We're asking other people to be responsible because we don't feel like it. And the reality of it all is the more responsible people we have, the better society works. This has been Lead, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Be responsible today and every day. Stop treating it like a chore and treat it like it's part of being a human. It's like an innate part of being. God created you, and it was like, you have to be responsible. You have to be. Or else expect chaos. And it should be second nature. I don't wake up in the morning and think, I have to be responsible today. I don't think about that. Or I was responsible 10 days in a row. Can I take today off? I don't think about responsibility like that. I think about responsibility as it's part of being a human being. It's part of being a living being, honestly. And how come all these trees are in the forest together, so close together, but they allow each other to grow? There's a responsibility of them. They're like, hey, I have my space, but I'm going to allow you some space. I'm going to be responsible for my space. I'm not going to overtake your space. I'm going to let us all breathe. And trees actually produce oxygen that allow us to breathe. See what I did? So remember that being responsible is not just for you. It actually affects the entire world. And think about if our president wasn't responsible. Think about if our vice president wasn't responsible. Think about if a U.S. ambassador wasn't responsible. Think about if a doctor wasn't responsible, right? We want to let ourselves off the hook because we're not the president, we're not a doctor, we're not a pilot. Okay. But what if they thought that way? So, practice your responsibility, be good human beings, and understand that God loves you to pieces. And his job is not to do everything for you. You're not a robot. So, just remember when you're praying to have the respect of asking God to help you be responsible instead of being irresponsible and asking God to fix it. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with the top dog of the week and cereal combo coming up right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbeville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com. You can find all of our information. You can also watch and listen live right from our website. How about that? wakeupcalldt.com. Newly redesigned, and I love it. So make sure you check it out. Big fan of everything we got to do in the reimagining of wakeupcalldt.com. Go check it out. On the homepage, you will find the links that are here for you on your screen right now. YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So if you go to wakeupcalldt.com and you want to watch and listen to the show, you can do it right from our homepage by clicking on any one of these 3 links that you see up here now. For those of you listening on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, the links are obviously to Podbean, Facebook, and YouTube. It is now time for the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Canine Kampground Dog Daycare for short-term care for your furry loving friends. Guess where they're located? They are located right there on 228 Old Bridge Street, right off of Bridge Street. So 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, across the street from BJ's Wholesale Club. You will find Canine Camp Dog Daycare for short-term care for your furry-loving friend, and you can get in touch with them by calling 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. Call them today because you want to make sure that you can get your dog in there for your daycare. You can get more information on the daycare by going to k-kamp.com. For the Canine Kampground Dog Boarding for longer-term care for your dogs, you can find them on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, right around the corner from the Canine Camp Dog Daycare. Canine Kampground Dog Boarding can be called at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. For more information, go to kampground.com. With that being said, the top dog of the week. Who is the top dog of the week? It's you! What? What do you mean, Dan? How am I the top dog of the week? Everybody that donated to Lemoyne College on Giving Day, which was yesterday, Thursday, February 29th, everyone who put out a donation, whatever it was, $1, $1,000, $10,000, $10, whatever it was, or if you couldn't donate money, but you donate your time, you give service, you show up for the kids, you show up to support and to love, and you volunteer. You volunteer with a team. You volunteer to help out here and help out there. You help out the teachers in some way, shape, or form. You're the people that work in the cafeteria, custodial, whatever it may be, the groundskeepers. Thank you to everybody in some way, shape, or form that has given back to Lemoyne. As we talk this morning, Giving Day has resulted in Lemoyne having this many donors. Here's a number. And this is funny that I'm announcing this right now, but this is God, and this is how God works. 2,185 donors. Why is that funny? Because it's all too poetic. I work with Lemoyne. We have an exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. My favorite number is 21. I was born in 1985. So 2185 is how many donors we have right now. 2,185 that have given Lemoyne combined $1.169 million. $1,169,774 at the time we're speaking right now. 2,185 donors, $1.1+ million donated. Big time shout out. There was 1,073 donors to athletics that raised, and athletics itself, by itself, raised over $150,000. And this is how it broke down here. I'm going to take a look at this here. So those giving to men's lacrosse, 191 donors, $36,167. Men's soccer, 65 donors, over $25,000. Baseball, 94 donors, over $18,000. The general fund for athletics, 42 donors, over $10,000. Softball, 240 donors, over $9,000, almost $10,000 for softball. Women's basketball, 26 donors, almost $9,000. Men's basketball, 45 donors, $8,800 plus, so over $8,000. Women's soccer, 101 donors, over $8,700. Swimming and diving, 94 donors, over $8,400. To athletic scholarships, 10 donors, almost $6,000 there specifically for athletic scholarships. Cross country and track and field, 64 donors, over $5,000. Women's lacrosse, 55 donors, over $3,500. Women's golf, 20 donors here, over $2,000. Volleyball, 27 donors, $2,110. That's my birthday backwards. That's why I wanted to read that one off. That's cool. Capital and facility gifts, 7 donors, over $1,000. And men's golf, 12 donors, over $1,500. And men's and women's tennis, over $500 with the donors that they had there. So donations all the way through here for the athletic department, and over $150,000 raised as an athletic department. I've seen some schools do giving days, and it was $150,000 for the school. $150,000 cumulatively at that certain point in the day. And for Lemoyne College, just athletics alone, over $155,000, over $1 million raised. And we just got more donors in because they're allowing a few more to come in here later if you want. And so now we're at $1.17 million. So we have already jumped up in the time that I've announced you as the top dog of the week. 3 more donors got us to over $1.17 million. You are the top dogs of the week because you decided to give back. You decided to help. You decided to put your money where your mouth is, and you decided to do something for somebody else out of the goodness and kindness of your heart. You gave what you could, and I appreciate that tremendously. Lemoyne Giving Day is extremely important. It is not cheap to move to Division I. It is not cheap to do the construction they're doing on their buildings and to add the things that they're adding. Lemoyne was going to do renovations, whether they were Division II or Division I. Bob and I had talked about a bunch of those things, including the dugouts for baseball, the press box for softball, and the concession and restroom stand at Ted Grant Field. Those were happening whether it was Division I or Division II. And those things have been done and are being done, being finished, being completed, or are completed. And also paying for all of the signage that's been going up, all the things that they're doing at Ted Grant Court, the fact that golf is going to be bringing in a golf simulator that'll be ready for this fall semester coming up here in 2024. A lot of great and amazing things are happening at Lemoyne, and they could not happen as easily as they do without you being generous and you being kind and giving back to a place that's been so kind and generous to us. So I want to honor all of you that gave to Lemoyne Giving Day as our top dogs of the week, because you didn't have to. And in the world we live in today, a lot of us, we look at things and say, hey, we have less money than we had before. Inflation is a real thing. We've gone through times where it hasn't been ideal. And no matter what is going on in life, financial crisis, family crisis, trying to figure things out, everybody's got something going on in their life, big and small, big to them. And yet, you decided, as you always have in the time that I've been with Lemoyne, to get that I've seen. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just saying in the time I've been with Lemoyne, you've given and given and given and given. And I appreciate you tremendously. I appreciate you for showing up to games. I appreciate you for showing up to meets and matches. I appreciate you showing up to go to school. I appreciate you showing up to cheer on and be there for someone, be it performing arts or scholastic or athletic. I appreciate you wearing those t-shirts and those hats and those sweatshirts proudly, putting those stickers on your car, and I appreciate you giving back. My top dogs of the week. All of those that gave to Lemoyne for Giving Day and that continue to give to Lemoyne throughout. God bless you all. Thank you for your generosity. You didn't have to, but you did. And I appreciate that. So, thank you. From Lemoyne, from me, God bless y'all. And thank you for giving from yours to somebody else. I pray that paying it forward and doing good for others will come back to you tenfold. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. My top dogs of the week. Everyone who donated in some way, shape, or form to Lemoyne College for Giving Day and in general. Thank you so much. For those that have, for those that are, and for those that will. We appreciate you. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We will be back momentarily with Caitlin Hodge-Mahalis. Very excited about this opportunity as Caitlin and I, a.k.a. Hodge. So Caitlin Hodge Mahalis, the head coach of the King's College Monarchs women's basketball team. She will be joining me for our fourth episode of Serial Combo inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I cannot wait to share that with you. And what do we do in those segments? We make our own cereal combo concoctions, and as we have those concoctions together, we also bond together to tell our own stories and to talk about things that are important to us. Today we're going to be spending time speaking on Miss Caitlin Clark. So from one Caitlin to another Caitlin, that's coming up right after this. I got to get my cereal ready, and we'll see you in just a moment after this fast break. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Very excited to be here with you, as always, every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it is now time for yet another cereal combo, and this is our fourth edition. And with that, when I say us, that means that my co-host has to join me here. Have to bring her in so that we can enjoy cereal together, and that is Miss Caitlin Hodge Mahalis, the head coach of the King's College Monarchs women's basketball team, and known simply as Hodge. Hodge, how are you today?
What's going on, Dan? I'm
That's
thriving. The sun is out. It's a little chilly, but the sun is out.
Yeah, that's what matters. Did you guys get any of this like weird snowstorm thing or no?
Bunch of rain.
Okay.
Bunch of rain the last like 24 hours. So
We got we got some snow. We got some substantial snow. 56, 61, 63 degree type weather. Then a giant snowstorm. Well, I don't want to say giant. Then an interesting snowstorm, and now it's supposed to be 60s again. So we'll see what that feels like. But I'm very excited about this. This could go horribly wrong. I do want to let everybody know. My decision in my cereal combo today are two things that I love very much. I've never put them together before. It's kind of like when you have two really close friends and you go, I love them both individually, but if we all hang out, are they going to like each other? So my two of my best friends are in the cereal bowl today when it comes to favorite cereals, but I don't know if this is going to be a horrible error on my part.
I love the analogy. Big fan of that analogy. Mine, I have one that I had previously, and then I threw in a new friend, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, so tell everybody what you got first. I'll defer to you, and then I'll let everybody know what's going on in my bowl.
I mean, I had the corn pops, and those just hit all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I threw in some Cocoa Krispies to see what would happen. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. It can't go bad. At the very least, the milk will be tasty at the end.
Yeah, so you have you got a crispy pop going on right now.
A Cocoa Crispy Pop, you know?
Crispy pop. So this is what I did. And I hope for the best. So I decided that Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Fruity Pebbles were going to make a baby. And this child...
It's jelly on toast. That's just jelly on toast.
So, it's very true. So, I mean, it looks colorful. It looks magical. I'm hoping for it. But I more than anything else, I'm super excited to present the cup that I have my milk in, which is a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers cup. And we got the whole family on the other side here. And I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to tell you who they are. Gadget, Chip, Dale, Monterey Jack, and Zipper. So I almost wore my Monterey Jack shirt today. The funny thing about it is it looks like a t-shirt I would buy on vacation of like some shop that I went to. And people see it and they're like, wow, cool shirt, man. And I was like, do you even know that this is for a Disney afternoon cartoon? So, and in the bottom of this, it has it has the emblem of the Rescue Rangers and it's like bumpy. So that's really cool too. So I'm going to hope for the best with this very colorful cereal. And I hope the best for yours as well. Your crispy pop thing that you're putting together here.
I mean, it looks not appetizing, but it's going to be fine.
Yeah, this at least looks colorful. It looks like I put flowers by toast. It's very sweet, but I like that stuff. I don't dislike this. I think I'm good with it.
I don't know how to describe mine. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
It's like heavy on the corn pops at the beginning, and then it goes super chocolatey, and then it finishes as corn pops. So like I feel like I'm on a ride. I wouldn't say roller coaster. It's not a lot, but we're cruising. It's like I don't know, but I'm for it. I'm for it.
It's funny that you said roller coaster because on a recent date that I had months ago, this one girl said that she loves drama. She just loves, all these like things that are not great, to be around. And so I was talking to my mom about it yesterday, and it's like, oh, I just love drama. Like, let's stick around this guy that's in a bar who claims he has a gun. I'm like, why don't you just ride a roller coaster?
No, I like fake calm and drama. Like I want to hear people's dirt, but I don't want to be involved. I don't want people to do anything to hurt people, but I'll listen to your dirt,
Yeah. It's because you're kind of like when you listen to somebody else's stuff, you're like, it's like watching a TV show.
Exactly.
But I don't want to be on the TV show.
No, I just need to touch of entertainment, a little bit of people watching, and then I'll be on my way. I'm not going to bother anybody. I'm not going to stoke any fires,
Right.
but I'm going to be around it. I want to hear it. But preferably after the fact, so I don't have any influence on anything.
Yeah. Tell me what happened. Tell me what got set on fire. Tell me how you put the fire out, and are you okay now?
Right. Everyone loves a good story arc. It's fine.
Right. But I was talking about it a little bit earlier. I can't watch shows that rhyme with Schmiel Schmousewives. I also can't watch Schmeeping Up with the Schmardashians. And I'm not. I will watch The Bachelor if my mom has it on, but I cannot watch it without running commentary. I feel like there should be a show where I'm watching a show and in real time commenting on what I'm seeing in the show. Like, I feel like me watching, like, DT on reality TV, I think that should be a show.
Like a little Mystery Science Theater 3000, but we just switch it to trashy reality TV.
Yeah, because I can't watch The Bachelor without looking at the guy going, how do you not know that this woman's crazy? But
yeah, I can't watch any of that. It's too, they're just I don't like when people are trying too hard and it's like a little overproduced. Like it's too much for me.
Well, my thing too is, somebody said to me, I said, guess the reality show that I auditioned for. And they were trying to guess it. And one of them, they were like, The Bachelorette. And I was like, oh, yeah. Because what I really want to do is be living in a house with 20 other guys, all trying to be with the same woman I'm trying to date. And I'm going to have dinner with them after they've had relations with the girl that I like. That's exactly what I would like to do in my life. It's like normal society, but in front of your face. It's like, there's a pretty girl. A lot of guys want to date her. Well, in this scenario, you have to sleep in the bedrooms next to the guys that want to date that girl.
Yep. Yeah, nope, not for me. Don't need that.
I'm like, no, thank you. What about, let's do that this morning. Let's talk about trash TV. We're going to talk about Caitlin Clark, but let's talk about trash TV first. Have you ever watched any of it? And if you have, what have you watched?
I can't. I'm similar to you. Like, I'll need commentary or it's just not entertaining to me. Like, I've tried to watch, like Selling Sunset. I watched that once. That was okay at best, but I can't get into it. I don't like the two that you alluded to earlier. I can't really watch The Bachelor. It just doesn't do it for me. If I'm going to watch like reality TV, I'm going to watch like Survivor. I'm going to watch like a competition show.
Yeah.
Or like the MTV, the challenges. So you get like a little bit of the trash, but it's still based around competing. But even though some of the challenges, like sometimes there's more about the drama than back in the day when it was Real World Road Rules challenges. It was like the competing, you get the text from like TJ and then they go over like, oh crap, what's this challenge going to be? So now it's a little more drama based, but it's fine because that's the kind of like trashy TV that I like. And throw some competitions in there. Throw some gameplay in there, like with Survivor, of all of these random people trying to vie for whatever. So those are probably the top two like reality shows. Yeah. Other than like, I don't know, I like cooking competition shows, but that's not trashy. That's just a different area of my brain.
No, I get that. I appreciate that. By the way, who would ever go on a show with, what's the guy? I'm going to forget his name now. The guy that's on, oh my goodness, Hell's Kitchen.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yes, Gordon Ramsay. Who would ever make a scallop for that man?
Nobody. Not me. My salmon would be trash, and I know it, so I don't need to get yelled at for it.
Right. I don't need your disrespect to come to me. And so, but here's the thing. I want you to guess, because I don't think I told you. I want you to guess the reality TV show that I sent an audition tape into and was asked to come to New York City to audition.
Can I get like a...
competition-based.
A competition-based? Okay.
Yeah. Not like just a trashy, ridiculous show, a show that you actually have to compete for something.
I'm a Amazing Race.
No. Could have been fun, but Not that one.
Big Brother?
Yes.
That would be the other. I didn't know how competition based. So yeah, Big Brother for sure. I could see you crushing it on Big Brother.
Why do you think I'd be good on Big Brother? Because I had a friend back in the day. I think it was just jealousy because he liked the show. But he was like, you can never make it. You'd be gone day one. Why do you think I'd be good on Big Brother, honestly?
So you have a little bit of the random like challenges that you have to do in order to get power. And I know you're super competitive. So I feel like people will look at you and then maybe be underestimating based on, size or whatever. I think you're genuine enough. That's what probably would be your downfall, is that you're genuine. And like, I don't know if you can go into like all of the backdoor deals and all of that other nonsense. But from competition standpoint, I could see you rationalizing it to make it work, to be able to get farther in the game. And you'd build enough relationships for people to want to keep you around.
Well, I appreciate that. And you're right. I'm not someone who can lie and feel good about it. So I would have to have conversations where you're essentially like, I'm weighing all my options. So Greg guessed Big Brother, got it right too. But yeah, I would be essentially weighing my options. But I would have tells. I would tell you before I went on the show, I'd be like, Hodge, this is what's going to happen. If and when I'm head of household and they all meet with me, you're going to be watching things that I can't see. So you're going to be watching these people like, oh, Dan, you're my best friend. I love you. And then she walks out and she's like, I cannot wait to get him out of the house. Like, but I'm going to have my own thing. I would like to think I'm a pretty good judge of character and that I can pick up on vibrations is what I call it. So that I would have tells. And so I would say to you, and obviously if I'm ever on Big Brother, they're not going to be these tells because this is just an example. But I would say to you, I'd be like, Hodge, watch the show because it's 24/7. You can see what's going on, not just the stuff they're taping. If and when I am head of household, and I have these conversations, I will talk with everybody even keel, unless I'm like really close to somebody, but I'll try and treat everybody even keel. And then if I go like this at any point in my conversation with them, they're gone. And and if I just, if I just kind of like itch my side or something like that, that means they're safe. That means they're safe. But I would do things where I would be hoping that like you'd be watching and I'd be like, oh yeah. And they'd be like, man, I love you. You're my brother. Oh my God. We're family, Dan. And it's like, I've dealt with those people all the time. And I give them a hug and I'd be like, yeah, bro, good seeing you, man. Thanks for coming up here. And then I'd look right up the camera and I'd be like, you know what's going to happen. So, I would like to think if I was on the show and I watched it back and you see all those people do the things that they do, that it's like you could figure out the people that were dirty. But yeah, the thing that I think prepared me, and I mean this with love because God teaches you lessons, you're supposed to learn them, and I appreciate that. I think all of the crazy ex-girlfriends and not true friends that I've had have prepared me to live in a house with maniacs.
Yeah, no, I think that checks out for most people, right? Like everyone's gone through, like think about like even just from like the athletic standpoint, right? How many people and different personalities have you been around to have to be able to get a read of like, hey, this is like post-game presser, right? You could tell who wants to talk, who doesn't want to talk, when you can push buttons, when you can't. You go into different team set situations and you're trying to figure out how to communicate and do whatever. So I think that like the sports world translates usually pretty well, as long as it's the right type of person who wants to read that room. Because it can't be one of those like egomaniac like sports people where it's like, all right, it's about me and other people don't exist. Yeah. Obviously there has to be a level of reading the room, but you being in the media and having the competitive sports background helps. But absolutely any psycho, situations of ex-friends, ex-girlfriends, all of that nonsense, it's hard to not learn from those.
Oh yeah. And it was funny because when I did the audition, there was a girl at the table because there's 5 of us at each table, and there was a girl at the table, and she had kind of let us know she was saying a lot. She was giving a lot of information away, and I'm like, don't do that, don't do that. And so they said to the girl, they said, what would be your plan if you were on the show? And she was like, well, I'm not athletic and I think I'm smart, but I don't know. She goes, what I would do, and my plan, my entire scheme would be to find a man and to lay in his bed and he'll carry me through it. And I remember looking over my shoulder going, hey, go be my bed. But, I was like, that's, I'm just looking to jump on some coattails. I mean, I appreciate her honesty. But,
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, that ain't going to be me, honey. So, I mean, that to me, because that you have to tell yourself that. Like, could you find love on a reality show? Maybe. But, I mean, think about it like this. The Bachelor's had, 30 seasons? And are there 3 couples? So, and that's a show that's dedicated. I think Big Brother probably has more married cast members on the show than The Bachelor. It could happen, but I'm also looking at it from the standpoint of this is a game. And do what I like, and that's what somebody said to me. They're like, you wouldn't be able to deal with like the lying and the hurt. And I'm like, it's not that I wouldn't be able to deal with it. It would hurt, but these people are also total strangers, and you don't know them. You're not. Now, this would be an interesting Big Brother if they didn't say anything and then they put me in the house with like a bunch of my ex-girlfriends. So that would be called Survivor, actually. And
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I like I'm not a reality show person, but there's something about Big Brother that I enjoy. But here would be my question to you. Should I tell them that I'm a broadcaster and that I own my own business, or should I make up a different thing that I do? Because I don't want to load the question and tell you why I would or wouldn't, so I'm not going to say anything. But if you were me, would you walk in there and say, my name is Dan Tortora, I'm 38 years old, and I'm a broadcaster, or would you say something else?
Is this the audition or when you get on the show?
This is me like in front of them when we all do our introductions in the house.
See, if you gotta lie, then you better have all of the other background information, and you've got to keep it straight for as long as you're there. So you can go broadcaster, but if you want to, like, depending on the situation, budget to where you can follow it, sure. But I wouldn't. I don't think I could keep it up, or I do something where I'd be like, oh, me and my colleague, and explain a very specific situation, and then just be like, well, it's obvious I'm a coach. I just screwed that up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I'm like, what would I even say that I was? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say I'm a teacher because I think that it's like crazy in schools now to even teach. And I feel bad for that whole situation. I hope it gets better. But it's like, I don't even know what would I say. You know what I mean? Because when people go on and they're like, I don't want to say I'm a lawyer. I don't want to say I'm a cop. I don't want to say any of that stuff, because then they start thinking about that. But then I think if I say I'm a broadcaster, then it's like, okay, well, he gets a lot of people to believe in him, and because he's an honest person and people feel safe around him and they open up around him and they tell him all, all these things that they wouldn't tell other people, is that going to help his social game? But at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel like I could shy away from the fact that I'm a broadcaster. I don't think it would necessarily hurt me. I just think people might think it might help my social game.
Sure, but I don't I get why lawyers or a cop has to, because you have the preconceived notion lawyers are conniving or sneaky, or they're gonna, work around the letter of the law to find the loopholes and whatnot. So you don't want to go in with that same idea of cop, same thing, right? Yeah. So I think broadcaster is a safe one to a safe route to go, because you can just be like, oh yeah, I just run, sports. I do that. I think it's a safe one. It might say yeah, it helps your social game, and they might be like, oh, that's why it's so easy for him to talk or get along with people, that's your job. So I don't think that that's a bad chink if you're going to have one in the armor there.
No, I can agree with that. I think I'd have to lean into it because it is who I am, and like I said, I'm not somebody who is a good liar. I don't like to lie. Cereal combo, DT and Hodge here for our 4th edition of this. I'm going to speak about Caitlin Clark in a moment, but something's come to my mind in the moment, and we're going to play a little game here that just popped into my head. Hodge and I are going to give each other a profession that we're not doing right now. And you get to go first. So, Hodge, if I was not a broadcaster and a business owner, what job would you put me in and why? And then I will do the same for you.
That's tough. Because I'm trying to think of like what you. It might be the same realm, but like a food blogger, like something where you're traveling and you're like writing reviews for food type stuff. So I don't know if that still counts as like media, but I think that that's something there. I could see you traveling, still being involved with people. You like good food, not quite a Guy Fieri, like diners, dive-ins, and drives, but like you do something on a local level or like a print type level or whatever it is.
Okay. I like the travel. I like the food. I like the meeting people. I can go with that. For you, Hodge, if you weren't a coach, what would you be doing? I could see two different things. I could be totally wrong, but I could see two different things. I can see you in the military as like a sergeant. I can see the leadership. I can see the seriousness. I can see the care, the love, and the concern. And I can see someone who wants to bring out the best in people, which is still the coaching side. I could also see you in like a third world country building something to help people have a better life than what they have experienced. So I see whether it's coaching or it would be like military or some type of training, or it was going to a place and building something or doing something for a community. I see leadership in you that I think translates to really anything.
It's funny. That's something that I know, like considered when I was younger, like the whole military route kind of thing, because you still get the physical aspect, you still get the leadership aspect. So yeah, it's probably factual.
All right.
And if not, like I always joke, like, all right, if I wasn't coaching and I didn't want to deal with people, like I would go do like landscaping. Let me be outside. Let me dig holes. Let me just ride lawnmowers and do that. So like the fact that you're like, yeah, go build something. Like I absolutely would go build something.
So again, wavelength is the same. I don't know how it happens, folks. This is why we're doing serial combo. So Caitlin Clark, perfect transition. Digging holes, riding lawnmowers, Caitlin Clark. But when we look at Caitlin Clark, now I want people to know, if you haven't watched the videos, please go and watch them. YouTube.com/wakeupcalldt. Make sure you click subscribe. I do box breaks all the time. I never thought that I would be buying Bowman U Chrome basketball, but I've been buying them. I bought 4 blaster boxes, the smaller boxes, because it's men's and women's basketball. I bought it literally only to get Caitlin Clark. There's no other reason. Not because everybody likes her, but because I liked her last year. I liked her all the way through. I like her now. And she's probably, without question, my favorite college player in general of men's and women's basketball. And she's going to be my favorite WNBA player outside of Stewie. And I would venture to say she might be one of the top athletes that I'm just going to pay attention to. Because my thing is, if I buy your jersey, that's like a big, from me, that's like thousands of players, thousands of different things going on, all these different teams and sports, but I want to wear your jersey. I have not bought a jersey in a very long time, and I'm highly considering getting my jersey now so I can be wearing my Caitlin Clark jersey during the tournament. So I finally got my first Caitlin Clark, and I got 2 of them. This is not her first Bowman. So the first Bowman is like the first appearance of anybody on a card. This is not the first one. It's from the year after, because she was 2022-23. This is 23-24. But I got my Caitlin Clark. Some of these come through autographed. These are not autoed. And then I paid for this in GG Cards and Breaks trade night. I got a refractor Bowman U and a nice one-touch metal case of Miss Caitlin Clark. So I'm still looking for my auto. The cheapest one I found is $300, around 300 something bucks. The most expensive one is $76,000. So Caitlin Clark recently has made her decision, and I would like to read it to you, if I may. She has made her decision on what she's going to do with her future. And Miss Clark, who has another season of eligibility if she chose to come back after this year, could come back to college or she could go pro. Well, she made a decision to move forward in her life in this direction, and I want to read her exact words. And so these are her words. This is the picture that went up on her social media, folks, where it says Hawkeye Nation. And so far, this is the only signature I have of hers. But she said, and I quote, these are her words that were released yesterday, so February 29th. It says, "While this season is far from over, and we have a lot more goals to achieve, it will be my last one at Iowa. I'm excited to be entering the 2024 WNBA draft. It is impossible to fully express my gratitude to everyone who has supported me during my time at Iowa. My teammates, who made the last 4 years the best, my coaches, trainers, and staff who always let me be me. Hawkeye fans who filled Carver every night, and everyone who came out to support us across the country, especially the young kids. Most importantly, none of this would have been possible without my family and friends who have been by my side through it all. Because of all of you, my dreams came true." Caitlin Clark. Thoughts on her words?
Classy, right? She did it the right way. The funny thing that I have seen pop up a little bit on social media that I 100% felt to my core, I'm glad she put it in the first sentence. It wasn't like this whole thing and like, with that being said, I'm going to the WNBA. It's like, nope, I'm going to the WNBA. This is what I'm appreciative of, and this is what I'm hoping for. So I think classy statement. I love that she just put it to bed before going into the end of the season and tournament play and their senior day and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I think that it's a good one. She put it on leap day, right? So like every 4 years, we're going to get this reminder of like, hey, the last time this happened, right? So that's cool little marketing, like a little quirky thing of how many people can say they did that on that day.
Yeah.
But too, like going into they're hosting College Game Day this Sunday, right? They're playing Ohio State in a big matchup. I believe it's their senior day, right? Like it's being able to have all of those questions taken out of the broadcast and all that attention put on her of like, will she, won't she, whatever, when she has her other teammates there, right? So now they'll have the questions to specifically go at her. She doesn't have to worry about making an announcement in front of people like a lot of the seniors have been like speaking on their senior days. She doesn't have to worry about that. Like it's out there, it's out of the way, the distraction's out of the way. Her teammates can focus on, you know, senior day, and she's not the only senior on the team, right? But they can also then focus on their task at hand, and it's not hanging over every single conference play, tournament game, or any NCAA tournament game that they're going to play. It's already out there. We can talk about it now. The buzz is gone, and they can focus on business. So I think that distraction from a team standpoint is just a classy move, right? Like you got to respect it.
Well, and the thing is like, who does this? You know what I mean? Like, have we experienced anybody else do this? Have we experienced anybody else say, I want to get it out of the way now? For goodness sakes, LeBron James, The Decision, right? It's taken over ESPN. It was like a Dateline episode. It was a 2020 with Barbara Walters type of feel to it. Caitlin, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, Caitlin doing this and doing it in the first sentence, like you said, we're not reading through like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, no, okay. So, you know, we're not doing that. She's saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. And then she constantly thanked everybody else. And she said, my family and friends, because of you, I got to be me. Because of you, I achieved my dreams. Like, you helped me do what that little girl said she was going to do. And I think that humility, that kindness. See, the thing about Caitlin Clark, because there's talented people in basketball, men's, women's, whatever, but it's hard for me to back the horses in men's or women's basketball that are talented, but they're just cocky and they're just about themselves. And I get these cards and I sift through these cards and I get one of those cards and one of those players is kind of, you know, all about, yeah, look at me. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to trade or sell this card, where my Caitlin Clarks are in my studio. And there's just a difference to me when it comes to Caitlin. And, I'm going to probably blame her for my passion, as I've had a passion for women's basketball. That's how we met. But because I have a passion for basketball, and I don't think that it's different. So when I love women's basketball, what I blame Caitlin Clark for is I think she might be my favorite player ever. Like, she might go down as my favorite women's basketball player ever. I might not find another one. And, I mean, think about it. My Damon Stoudemire jerseys, I love those jerseys. I have not bought, I don't even know the last time that I bought a jersey, basketball jersey, with a name on it. And I've been sitting here saying to myself, like, yeah, I want an autograph thing. But I really would like to have Caitlin's jersey because I'd really love to wear it. And I don't care what game I'm watching, but how, you know what I mean? Like, how cool is that? And then as a broadcaster and as somebody who goes out into the community and travels a lot, where, me walking through an airport wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey to all these people going by, to me, like, I always think about what you're wearing and how you're presenting yourself as a billboard. And why not wear a Caitlin Clark jersey and show a little boy and a little girl, like, gamers are gamers. Wear the jerseys of the ones you love. Wear the people that you love. Like, I don't think girls should wear girl jerseys and boys should wear boy jerseys. I think you should wear the jerseys of the people that you respect and that you love. And I don't think there's a jersey. I might wear the Caitlin Clark jersey through the men's and women's tournament. I mean, that's just my reality. But she's done something. Like, Stewie has done something. Lisa Leslie did something. Rebecca Lobo did something. Cheryl Swoops did something. Dawn did something. Pat Summitt did something. Gino Auriemma. There's so many people that have done something for women's basketball. You did something for me. I have incredible respect for you. So there's something to be said about these people that are just special. And I think we're spoiled because I grew up watching Michael Jordan, and now I'm watching Caitlin Clark shoot from half court on a weird angle, and it's like a layup. And then I watched him fly. So I'm watching Michael Jordan going, how can this man fly? And then I'm watching Caitlin going, why is this so easy? And I just feel very spoiled that in my lifetime, I've seen these larger-than-life athletes. And on top of all of that, I like the fact that Caitlin just seems to be a kind person, from what I know.
Yeah, and the fact that she shouted out little kids, right? Like, in her whole thing, you see all these pictures on social media where she's just swarmed after games. Like the most recent one from Minnesota, she's in a tunnel and you can't even see her because of the amount of, like, jerseys and towels and posters that are hanging that people are trying to get her. And you hear stories of her staying for so long, trying to sign everything that she can. It's not just something that she's done this year. She's done that through her whole career. And honestly, I think that's something that's unique and special about women's basketball and a lot of women's sports is that they do take that time, right? Like Asia Wilson used to do that. All the UConn players used to do that. The Tennessee players, you hear the stories of Pat Summitt telling her players that you can't just scribble your name. These little kids and these people are coming to pay money and they are coming to see you and they want your signature. Make sure they know, that it's you. So you're giving them that memory, right? That experience. And I think that's something that, thankfully, because a huge part to Caitlin Clark, a huge part to like Dawn Staley recently. You're getting people exposed to this character of women's athletics, right? And I think a big part, like I said, of women's sports and the DNA of what makes it different from the men's game is because it has that like authenticity, right? You don't have that the one and done attitude, right, on the men's side. Where it's like, nope, I'm good. I'm going to get mine, and then I'm going to get out, and then I'm going to go do what I'm going to do. Yeah. That's the unique part that I hope never changes about the women's game, especially women's college basketball. The rule to go to the WNBA is you've got to be 22 or have your degree, right? So there's few who have left early, right? From Notre Dame, you had Jewel Lloyd and Jackie Young leave. But other than that, you get a chance to follow these personalities. You get to see them build those fan bases locally, like South Carolina selling out everything. the Las Vegas Aces just announced that they're going to play Team Puerto Rico on South Carolina's campus, right? Because Asia was there with Dawn trying to build that up from the ground, and that's now where you had, Aaliyah Boston take over, and now you've got Cardosa and all these other players benefiting and continuing that legacy. So the way that Caitlin Clark is doing that in, the Midwest, like in Iowa and in that area, Iowa's only, 5 hours from Indianapolis? So she's going to draw eyes to the sport, and she's going to continue that authenticity that was built on by all of those legends that you named before, that once the WNBA started, you got to see that, and people who have gone to games can feel that connection because it's authentic. But Caitlin Clark has embraced that from the very beginning of her career, and she's continuing it through the success. And like you said, she's acknowledging, the little kids who are looking up to it, and she's creating that to make them lifelong fans of the game. And you have the little, like you said, I'm glad you said, all right, the little boys who are wearing the jersey. Right, it's great for us as women to inspire women, but how cool is it when people just look at you as a basketball player, right? It's the little boys who are equally as excited, because I grew up the same as you. You're watching Jordan, all the names of all the greats going up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't common until the WNBA was around, or if you were in a hot market for, women's athletics, to be able to follow them around or have that merchandise available. If people don't have Caitlin Clark merch, people will riot. It's awesome we've gotten to that point. That's still a huge critique on the WNBA, is that they don't have the merch available. They don't have the merch, and it's because people aren't investing. Caitlin is going to force people to invest, and she's going to bring eyes, and she's going to continue to be her while she does it. And it's easy to root for that, right? Or it's easy to root against it, which some people, that's why you love sports, right? That's the great dynamic about sports.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And it is. I mean, it's going and getting that, like you said, having that jersey, right? Being able to wear that jersey and to see that around, and the fact that if there wasn't Caitlin Clark jerseys and there wasn't Caitlin Clark sports cards and there wasn't autographs, we would be saying, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Why don't you have that? This is the crazy thing. Steph Curry banging threes, doing all this stuff for Davidson. His jersey wasn't out here like this when he was at Davidson. His autograph wasn't out here like this when he was at Davidson. But hers is. And I tell people this all the time. I don't want her to be Steph 2.0. I don't want that. I think that that's ridiculous. And I wouldn't want it to be the other way around if Steph came after her. I don't want it, is Caitlin 2.0. I don't want you to be anything 2.0. I want Caitlin to be Caitlin. I want Steph to be Steph. I love watching Steph. I do. I enjoy watching Steph. But I love watching Caitlin more. And it's no disrespect. And it's not me. I'm not here comparing and saying this one's better than this. I just like watching Caitlin Clark more. If you're going to sit me down in front of a TV and I'm not watching Syracuse, who I grew up watching my whole life and it's my hometown, if I'm not watching Syracuse and I can pick any game, I'm going to watch Gonzaga and I'm going to watch Caitlin Clark. And then there's maybe a team or two that I might want to watch. But literally, it's Syracuse, Gonzaga, growing up North Carolina. But it's Syracuse, Gonzaga, maybe North Carolina. And then if it's women's basketball, I don't care who she plays. I don't care who she plays. It doesn't matter to me. I want to watch Caitlin Clark. She could be on Iowa. She could be on Syracuse. She could be on UNLV. She could be on Florida. I don't care. It's no offense to Iowa. It's just, I want to watch her. Because when the tournament comes around, I'm going to be circling, okay, I have to be home 3 o'clock this day, noon that day. There's certain games that you just want to be a part of and you want to see. I love that I want her jersey and I don't have to go to Iowa's campus and maybe they're going to make them for the tournament time. It's no, her jersey is available. It's on a bunch of different websites. So, I'm really excited about that. I hope it translates to the WNBA. I hope her WNBA jersey is not the top selling jersey in the WNBA. I hope it's one of the top selling jerseys in the country in general. And, I love it. And I think for me to wear a Caitlin Clark jersey, I'm comfortable in the man that I am. And I'm comfortable, if somebody goes, oh, you're wearing a woman's jersey. I'm not wearing a woman's jersey. I'm wearing my favorite player's jersey. So to me, I don't care. But if I can wear it and then some little kid's in the airport and he's wearing a Caitlin Clark and he walks up to me with his glasses on and slaps me high five, to me, it's dude, you know what? Every little bit helps and there can be a change. I don't believe a woman should live in a man's world or a man should live in a woman's world. I believe we should all live in the world, and we should be able to celebrate basketball together. My answer to people today is the same answer I gave 20 plus years ago at Marywood. When they're like, well, why do you cover women's basketball? It's not. I go, it's not what? Basketball is basketball. Hooping is hooping. And I don't care who you are. Basketball to me is something that I love. It's something I close my eyes and listen for the sneakers. You know it. You got a passion for it. I don't have conversations with people that go, well, I love basketball, but not women's basketball because I can't watch that. When I hear somebody say that to me, I'm going, you can't say you love the sport of basketball and only when one group plays it. Like, is it different? Do they kick the ball in women's basketball? Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's, I don't engage people that come to me with lack of rationale and logic. And I've been sticking up for women's basketball from the beginning, and I don't have a sister who plays, and I don't have a girlfriend who's playing. I don't have a mom who played in the WNBA. I don't think you have to be connected to it to care about it. And it was just something inside of me where I was like, I was greedy. I said, if I'm going to be a broadcaster at Marywood, why am I going to cover one? I'm going to cover both. Then I get to be on the air for 5 hours. Then I get to meet more people. Then I get to make more connections. And if nobody's covering women's sports and I get to be the only guy that does it, then I get to be a pioneer, a trendsetter, a trailblazer. I get to do something new and interesting. You know how pissed off I was a few years ago when they had stopped doing women's games? I said, what are they doing? I said, why aren't they set up? They're like, oh, we don't really do women's games anymore. And I said, pardon me? They're like, oh yeah, they'll set up in a little while for the men's game. I'm like, that's not what I made. That's unacceptable. And you don't want me calling Marywood saying, I'll go down there. It's a 2-hour drive for me. I go halfway around the country to change that. So, I mean, you know it, Hodge, but basketball is basketball. And if Caitlin has changed people's minds, I'm happy. I'm also sad that it took that. You know what I mean?
100% agree. Like I agree with that last statement, like wholeheartedly, right? If you love basketball, the women's game is the purest form of it, right? It's the best part. It does so much strategy. It's because it's below the rim and everyone's like, oh, they need to dunk. No, they don't. You have so many players who can dunk. They don't need it to make the product what it is. And that's what everybody talks from, college basketball. I think it was Dan Orlovsky recently on social media was like, oh, I just went to my first UConn game, and he played college football at UConn when Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird were there, and he's like, oh, they're actually pretty good. It's like, yeah, my guy, how is this the first time you have gone? Yeah. I'm glad you're here, but only stay here if you genuinely care about what's going on. Yeah. And that's been a lot of, the talk back and forth about like WNBA marketing and all this other stuff. It's like, no, we don't need to appeal to a certain thing. We're going to be what we're going to be. It's going to attract the people that it needs to attract, and it's going to grow from being authentic. And that's the part of the game that, like, I don't want the guys who are like, oh, well, they have to have, like, cuter uniforms or they have to have, like, sex. No, they don't. They need to be good at basketball. It is a basketball league. That's all that they need to do. And they can be who they are, however they want. They can love who they want. They can do what they want. They can show up and just ball. And that should be enough to get the respect because it's a sports league. Same thing how I think women's sports shy away from, like, true villains, right? Sometimes you need, like, the player that you like love to hate, right? That's part of sports. Everyone think back to like all the Duke, you can have a list of Duke players that everyone just hates and loves to hate it. And that also has popularity. Like you had, back in the day, the bad boys, right? You get the Pistons and Bill Laimbeer and everybody just loves to hate them. But you need that back and forth. And I think on the male sports side, you're allowed to have that because you don't have to be looked at as this perfect exemplar. Because on the women's side, and then you throw it down even farther to like women of color or black women or whatever it is, they're not allowed to be anything but the most perfect example of what's going on. If we can get to the point where women's sports evolves, where everybody can be themselves and you're allowed to have villains, you're allowed to have players that maybe are a little bit controversial, great. And I hope Caitlin Clark's attention brings that to an already great product. Like that's the part that I worry about. Is people are forgotten about some of the greats and the people that have built the game that way. Even if you look at the controversy about recognizing what records exist in the NCAA or not, like Lynette Woodward and has all these points and she had it without a 3-point line. That's incredible. We should be talking about that. But yes, it's only happening because Caitlin Clark is going, and that was a mistake we can't correct. But cool, bring that spotlight, and now let's talk about it. Let's continue to build it with the new eyes and the new market and the new everything that she's bringing with the fresh eyes and the fresh perspective of it. But everybody else, y'all got to get on board. She didn't create it. It's been here. It's been good. But now you can see what they've got, and I hope it draws a bunch of people to games. I hope people can experience the environment.
Yeah.
Because I've been sporting events, but I was at the WNBA finals last year, and it was incredible. Like New York, the Liberty, they have a great environment. Other games that I've been to, Dallas or Chicago, they have great environments. So I'm hoping that she's able to bring more people that need to experience that, not the ones that we should try to get these guys. I don't want those guys who are just going to make unnecessary comments, right? They're never going to like the game anyway.
Right.
So bring the people who like the game and who are going to appreciate the game, and now maybe expand it to their sons and not just their daughters. Like all the sports tropes of, well, I like this. I have a mom. Okay, why don't you just like it because you like, sports? You don't need to like it because, well, I have a sister. No, that's great, but that shouldn't be your qualifier.
No. And I mean, and with all due respect, the guys that would make the inappropriate, ridiculous comments at your game, when they say it's your game, and and that's the other part of it too. Your game, my game, your game. It's basketball. It's not. It's our game. That's what it's supposed to be. That's how it should be pitched to the world. But those guys that would go to a women's basketball game and make comments and say this and that, and honey, show us this, and wear shorter, but guess what? I don't want them at men's basketball games or women's basketball games. I want them to stay home and stay out of society, because it would be great for those people to think about the things that they say and probably follow that rule that I learned from Thumper and Thumper's mom in Bambi, which is if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I was at the Dome for the last home game a few days ago. There were fans in the Dome. This is my hometown. And it took a lot for me to not turn around as a dad and just go, shut up. Just shut up. Like, what? Who didn't love you that this is what became of you? Like, why are you like this? Why are you talking to people like this? And it was funny because they loved Justin Taylor. They loved him the last day. Ooh, Justin Taylor. They're booing him when he's in the starting five at home. But then a couple days ago, he had a pretty good game. And people, Justin, that's my guy. And after the game, I was talking to him about it, and he goes, I appreciate the people that stuck with me. There wasn't many. I'm happy he said that. And I'm happy Trevor Cooney has said that. And Caitlin Clark, with all due respect, she could turn around and say that and go, y'all didn't know me 3 years ago, 5 years ago. You didn't know me when I came to Iowa. You didn't know anything about Iowa. You didn't know my coach. She can say that. But here's the thing. I don't care when you come to the party as long as you came to the party. But now that you're at the party, respect the people that are in the party. Respect your host. And when you were saying everything you were saying, I agree with you, Hodge. But I don't want those people at any game.
Preach.
At all. Like, please just, I'm just like, stay in your basement, eat your cereal, watch the show. But that's how I feel about it. Any final notes, any final words here? I do want to throw this at you. D3 women's basketball, obviously, as you coach King's College for the Monarchs women's basketball team in Division 3. The Division 3 bracket has been set. There's a ton of teams that are getting ready to tip things off here. I'm looking at the Scrantons and the Gettysburgs and the so on and so forth. Marymount and Virginia. I'm looking at some of these names here, SUNY New Paltz and whatnot, that are not strangers to NYU as well. Do you have any thoughts on the tournament? Are you going to watch it? Do you have somebody that you think could take this whole thing? What are your thoughts on the field?
Yeah, I mean, games tip off tonight. Tonight's first round, and then tomorrow will be the second round with stuff. NYU has been on, obviously, a tear. They're number one overall. They're doing undefeated. They're doing great things. They're in DeSales, who's in our league, their bracket, so they're tipping off in that same little pod. It's different for people who may not know, like Division 3. It's more bound by it's not like true seeding, right? Like the one
Yeah.
seed is the overall one seed. They get some benefits to it, but you're bound by the NCAA guidelines of like travel. After a certain point, they've got to, fly you, right? Because everything's covered by the NCAA.
Yeah.
So Division III, you don't get as much as that. So you're going to have some crazy matchups early on in this tournament because it's a little more regionalized, right?
Yeah.
I got a ton of friends coaching this weekend. It's really cool to like watch. I'm gonna have two friends playing in the Vassar and the Washington and Lee tournament, who's also got another friend in the Catholic. They're all in the same pod, so I got 3 teams like in that pod where it's like, all right, you're all friends. I'm gonna watch, but I hope it's just good basketball all around, right? You got teams from our conference or in our area where Scranton's hosting, and they've got a good chance to make some moves, but. I think NYU just being that overall number 1 seed. Last year, I got to see Transylvania play for the first time, like in person, because they every couple of years they'll do at the Final Four where they invite Division 1, 2, and 3. So you can buy a ticket, and I sat and watched the doubleheader of the D3 National Championship and the D2 National Championship, which is an awesome experience for those athletes to be able to be on that big scale and play in the same arena and do that. But like Transylvania was so much fun to watch and play last year. So I know they're still in the mix and they're having, some success still. So I just like the last time I was in the NCAA tournament, I was an assistant a couple of years ago, and we got to upset the 8th and 9th ranked team in the country. And we got to go to the Sweet 16 and we were able to host. So knowing from the perspective of, a young assistant and being a D3 player, I just hope everybody has good games and they're able to bring their best regardless of the results, because it's such a cool experience. I had friends who coached down in Virginia, and they were on their way up to Massachusetts, and they were able to stop and practice in our gym because, we're friends and they want to break up their drive. So it's just a cool experience for those kids to not have to be in school, and they can focus on basketball, and they can try to get that postseason NCAA tournament moment. Because we had it, like we won, we came back from down 20 and then we upset them and we get to go on to the Sweet 16. I still get goosebumps when I think about it. So I'm hoping that everybody in some way in this tournament, especially, the coaches that I'm rooting for and my friends, that get a goosebump moment. Go have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just taught, I got a special coming up today with my good buddy Jason Leone, my brother, that's family, and Oswego State. They're hosting, and they got their first game tonight for the men's side of things in D3. So really, really excited and looking forward to that. By the way, you talked about autographs and don't just scribble your name. And I did my annoying moment of the week, as I always do to start off Friday's broadcast. And Greg sent this in to me that his buddy got. This was an autograph from Cam Reddish. He drew a line. And I honestly feel like he should be fined for it.
Right. Like, what is that? Somebody paid for that or went out of their way to get that. They gave you time. But time is valuable, right? How do I judge people on how they care and how they show up? If that's how you're showing up for people who are paying and, looking up to you, like, that's crap.
Yeah. I would have literally taken that card. Greg, if you're listening, if I'm your friend, I would take this. Let's see here. So this is Air, and he got it out of a pack. I would contact the company and I would demand to have a card sent with an actual autograph stating that this is not a real autograph. It looks like my child drew on my card. And so I would say to them, I demand to either have his autograph or another one of equal value or whatever sent to me for this disrespect of nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a kid and you stood in line after a game, and this is not an attack on Cam Reddish, this is in general. If you stood after a game and somebody drew a line on your basketball, who's going to believe that you met Cam Reddish? You're going to put that in. I'm going to put that in my studio with all the stuff that I have in here. I'm going to put a line on here. Let me show you what an autograph looks like. This is a Syracuse basketball that is in my studio. And there are a ton of different autographs that are on here. There's Billy Owens. And here's the thing. I'm looking at them, and I can tell you who they are. That's Billy Owens. Then we have, let's see who else we have here. We have Demetrius Nichols. We have Roosevelt Bowie Jr., Lazarus Sims, Jim Boeheim, Hakeem Warwick. I want to say that one's Derek Coleman, John Wallace, Sherman Douglas. I mean, most of these I can read because they're legible. So that's what autographs look like, people. Okay? Don't draw a line on things and think, who cares? I'm bored. My girlfriend just broke up with me. I had to go to practice. Coach yelled at me today. Doesn't matter. It's not the person's problem that receives your card. So do not draw a line on it. I might actually do a post about this because this is ridiculous. I might reach out to Cam Reddish and go, I don't know what happened to you that day, but you need to make better on this. Don't set an example like this for people. So, like I said, it's not a witch hunt to him. Could have been anybody, but he needs to fix that. That's ridiculous.
For sure.
It looks like it honestly looks like somebody took your card and drew on it. So hopefully they'll fix that and make that right. Caitlin Clark's are legible, and I really would like to have one. So I will do everything in my power to try and make that happen. Or Hodge and I are going to do a Wedding Crashers Part 2, and instead of crashing a wedding, we're going to crash a tournament and or practice, and I'm going to try and get Caitlin Clark to sign a basketball somehow. So she seems nice though. I don't think I would have to like trick her into signing it. I feel like I could just show up after a game and there's all these kids there and there's me and I'd be like, I'm a big kid. I'm a larger child. I got facial hair early. I don't know what to tell her, but I got to get a Caitlin Clark autograph. I'd like to get it in person, but
if you looked at it, their recent projections for the regionals, I'm not sure exactly how they work, but they have like an Albany regional usually. Yeah. I believe in one of the Albany regionals, Iowa was projected based on last night to potentially be in there. So you might get, and it was like a killer bracket. I think it was like ESPN 2 during the game I was watching last night, that it has like South Carolina as the 1 seed in Albany, but then in Albany 1. But I think Iowa was in that bracket. I think Oregon State was in that bracket. On the Iowa or the Albany 2, it had LSU, Colorado, USC. So I don't know how valid that is or where exactly that. I didn't research it enough to know. Yeah. But I'm just saying, keep your eyes out and see if you can take a peek. There's a chance they could be in Albany, but I can't see them having Iowa and South Carolina meeting before, a little later in the season.
Yeah.
Or the tournament.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at projections right now. So where do they have Iowa now? They have Iowa. They have them in the Portland 3.
Is it Portland 3? Okay.
Hopefully.
This one I have the regional 1 in Albany.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing. It would be Iowa versus Albany, but Albany would have to go to Portland, even though there's the Albany because they'd be the 15 seed. But hopefully this can change. I mean, obviously this is just a projection, but I think, whoever's listening, NCAA selection committee, you can make Iowa a 2 seed in Albany and I'll be okay with that. So I'm just saying. I went to Albany last year. My dad and I got to see 50% of the Final Four. We saw Miami and UConn win, and then they went on to the Final Four on the men's side, which was insane. It was really because it was the first time my dad and I had ever gone to an NCAA tournament game and sat together. Because we just sat in the stands and we got to see 50% of the Final Four. And I looked at my dad and I go, "You think that that's just an accident? That we could have gone anywhere in the country? We came here. It's our first game together. And these two teams that advanced out of this area just so happened to advance all the way to the Final Four. And one of them won the national championship." So, pretty awesome experience with Pop. But Hodge, as always, I appreciate you. I appreciate my cereal for not letting me down. And I appreciate the conversation as always. So thank you for everything. I don't know how to say goodbye, so I always say see you later, and I'll talk with you soon.
Take care.
Take care. Have a good day. That coming from Caitlin Hodge Mahalis here with us, the head coach of the Kings College Monarchs for women's basketball in the great state of Pennsylvania. We'll take our final step aside, wrap things up in less than a half an hour. I have news. I have been for weeks now just putting out all this messaging of news is coming, news is coming, news is coming. My little Bitmoji guy, where's my Bitmoji guy? He's out here doing his thing, and so there he is. There's my little Bitmoji guy telling you that big news is coming up today. The world finds out Friday, March 1st at noon. I cannot wait to share it with you. Thank you for everybody on social media that's been paying attention and asking me, what is your news? Well, you're going to find out in less than a half an hour.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, located on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, are our sports card shop of choice. Head out to GG Cards and Breaks 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and on Sundays from 10 to 5, you will find soccer, basketball, baseball, all sport, AEW, football, hockey, and more, including Disney Lorcana, Marvel, and Pokemon. All on site, on location, in one awesome place. Led by Josh and Anthony, the entire staff at GG Cards and Breaks is wonderful, incredible. I love it. I love going there. I love seeing everything that they bring in. There's always something new. There's always something changing. There's something exciting, and that's the beauty of it, is they love the hobby. They open packs. They open boxes. They love being a part of it. They love living within it. And that means a lot to me. They're not just people that sell stuff, right? That they don't really believe in. It's like, yeah, here you go. I got this store. I'm selling this product to you. Hope you buy it. No, they're buying it. They're opening it. They're understanding it. They're researching it. I love that. They know their craft. And because they're good people and they're kind people and they know their craft and they have these great things, it's a perfect place to go to if you've never collected before, because it's going to be a great first impression. And if you've collected all your life, it's a great place to go to. I don't care where you've been. You got to get yourself over to GG Cards and Breaks. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. I look forward to seeing you out there. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for tuning in. YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com every Monday, or WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, I should say, every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Once the shows go live, they jump into the archives. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser.com, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do on any one of these outlets, as well as your search engines in general, is type in Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you will find us there. Big time shout out to our incredible partners, and this list is going to change after noon Eastern Time today. Very excited. Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Mom and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, GG Cards and Breaks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Avicoli's, Great Lakes Honda City, Pizza Man, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Get my sandwich at Mother's Cupboard 7 days a week, 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York. Come and get it. Every single day of the week from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., you can get the Cuse McMother bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Cut it up and have it with some syrup. And, of course, you can get my Sunday, the DT Dolphin, in honor of the Lemoyne College Dolphins and our community, exclusively at Carvel DeWitt, 7 days a week on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It spins up every single month on Wake Up Call. You could find your Dolphins by coming to the show on all of our channels Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. First and third Wednesday of each month, the AD and DT bringing in Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, for topics that you will find behind the scenes, exclusive information all throughout the year, learning about Lemoyne from the leadership at the top of the athletic department in Bob Beretta. Second and fourth Wednesday, we have the Dolphin Dive, diving into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. Get all the content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe and the notification bell. Find our Lemoyne playlist on the YouTube channel and get everything there, including all the Giving Day specials that I aired yesterday. You can also find the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab on wakeupcalldt.com. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com, and you know what it is. Fins way up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. You will find the Bobcats every single month. Men's and women's basketball going on right now, and they have Selection Monday coming up this Monday. We've got some cool stuff coming up with you for that. Can't wait to share that with you exclusively on Wake Up Call. Of course, men's and women's soccer has had themselves a phenomenal opportunity. Each season, they are vying for so many wonderful things, including national championships, which they've each won a national championship. Men's soccer has won multiple. Women's soccer got one in 2021, and they both vied for a national championship this past season as well, consistently going to the national tournament. And then we have baseball that's in their second season coming up here. Very excited about what baseball brings to the table. How many times do you get to cover a new program from the moment of its inception? And I have had the opportunity to do that with Sean Peak, and thank you so much to the baseball team for that, including their head coach, Mr. Peak. And, of course, esports and everything that they're doing with esports, and Connor Carroll is working to do. Super excited about all the things happening on James Street at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. You can find the Bobcats by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Hit the notification bell and check out our BSC Syracuse playlist on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Bobcats on the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com, and as always, go Bobcats. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you. Ma and Pa's head there, the snack capital, 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. You will not be disappointed. A lot of great stuff there. Ma and Pa's bringing you what's poppin'. Annoying moment of the week, thanks to Carvel DeWitt. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Today's topic, responsibility is yours. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. The top dog of the week, all of you for donating on Lemoyne Giving Day and for giving to Lemoyne all throughout the year. Thank you. With your time, your money, and your love and kindness and your hard work, dedication, and determination, we appreciate you all. Top dog of the week, Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the only place to bring your dog for a home away from home, in my opinion, here in our community. And cereal combo with my good friend Caitlin Hodge Mahalis, the head coach of the King's College Monarchs women's basketball team. For now on Wake Up Call, and in less than 20 minutes, we got awesome news. This is 3+ years in the making, folks. I'm very excited, and I can believe, I'm good at keeping secrets, but I haven't said anything in weeks. I finally get to say it today. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. The announcement is going to all of this social media. It's also going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Do not miss a moment. And wakeupcalldt.com is going to have a new addition to it. So you got some work to do. I will see you in less than 20 minutes to make the massively huge announcement that I've been talking about for weeks now. Very excited about it. Cannot wait to make it. Go and see Oswego State Lakers men's basketball tonight at 6 o'clock, hosting their first game in the 2023-24 NCAA tournament. God bless to all. Have a great day. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Cannot wait to talk to you and make this announcement. And God willing, beautiful things are to come. Be well. Stay safe.